The docking ring of the interstellar hub gleamed like a jewel against the blackness of space. Terran supply shuttles moved in orderly lines, humming softly as they docked. For most, it was just another day at the hub, a place where humans and aliens met, traded, and maintained fragile peace. But for Rhea Voss, it was the beginning of something entirely unexpected. Rhea had spent years engineering and repairing machinery for small interstellar freighters. She loved her work, but the hub always made her nervous. Everything was bigger here, brighter, and sometimes stranger than anything she had ever seen on Earth. Aliens of all shapes and sizes passed through the corridors, speaking in languages that she only partially understood. Today, Rhea was carrying a toolkit to check a minor fuel pump in a docked Terran shuttle. Lost in her thoughts, she accidentally walked into a restricted section of the docking ring. Red warning lights flashed around her, and a loud alarm began to beep. Her stomach sank. Before she could even think of turning around, a figure appeared in front of her. Tall, broad, radiating authority. It was Sergeant Cale Renor of the Interstellar Peace Patrol. His skin shimmered faintly under the hub lights, a deep violet hue that made him look more like a statue than a living being. His eyes, sharp and calculating, studied her with precision. "Stop immediately," he commanded in a low, resonant voice. "You have entered a restricted zone." Rhea froze, holding up her hands instinctively. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Her voice trailed off as she realized there was no simple explanation for her mistake. Cale's gaze softened slightly, though his posture remained rigid. "You are not harmed, and no laws have been broken beyond this. Minor intrusion. I need to record your details for security purposes." Rhea blinked. Details? Record? She didn't even know what that meant yet. But before she could ask, Cale continued. "You are single-registered, correct? Then, I will need your interlink number for incident documentation." Rhea blinked again. "Single-registered? Interlink number?" Her brain scrambled. "Oh," she said slowly, then decided to joke, trying to break the tension. "So, are we dating now?" Cale's expression froze. He stared at her, tilting his head slightly. The slightest twitch in his jaw hinted at confusion or maybe irritation. But it was not the same kind of emotion a human would show. It was something alien. Something unfamiliar. Rhea laughed nervously. "I'm kidding," she said quickly, holding up her hands. "It's a human joke. Not, you know, real." Cale's shoulders stiffened, but he seemed to relax just a little. "Humans have a strange sense of humor," he said finally. "I will need your number regardless. For official records." Rhea nodded, relieved. "Sure, I can give it to you. Just, for records." She typed it into the interlink pad he handed her. With the formalities done, Cale nodded once and began to turn. But Rhea couldn't stop herself. "Wait," she called. "Do you actually have a sense of humor? Or are you just trying not to frighten me?" Cale paused, his eyes meeting hers. For a moment, he looked like he was thinking, analyzing. Then, with a small shrug that seemed oddly human, he said, "I am learning." Rhea grinned. "Well, you're doing okay so far." She didn't realize it, but that small, joking exchange had drawn the attention of several other officers patrolling nearby. A few snickers passed through the ranks. The idea of a human joking with a high-ranking patrol officer was unusual. Usually, humans were nervous or quiet around the alien officers, but Rhea had done the opposite. She had made Cale pause, and that was noteworthy. As Cale led her back to the main corridor to escort her out of the restricted zone, the tone between them shifted subtly. It was no longer just an authority figure speaking to a trespasser. There was curiosity, a faint spark of amusement on both sides. Rhea felt her heart beat faster, not from fear, but from excitement. Once they were in a quieter part of the hub, Cale stopped. He turned to face her fully, the violet glow of his skin catching the lights above. "You humans, you act in ways I cannot always predict," he said carefully. Your responses are interesting, unpredictable. Rhea tilted her head, smiling. I'll take that as a compliment. Kale's eyes narrowed slightly, not in anger, but in thought. It may be. Your behavior is unconventional, yet effective. Most humans would panic in my presence. Panic? Me? Rhea laughed lightly. Maybe a little, but I like to think I handle surprises well. As they walked toward the exit, Rhea glanced at the docking hub. Something felt off. The red warning lights were fading, but she couldn't shake a nagging feeling in her gut. The shuttle she had come to inspect was supposed to be routine, but the machinery inside felt different. Almost like someone had tampered with it. Sergeant, she said cautiously, do you ever notice things here that don't make sense? Kale's gaze sharpened. Explain. Rhea hesitated, not wanting to sound paranoid. Just little things. Small errors in the system. Malfunctions that seem too coincidental. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Thanks for watching. And also, and wel juzen resegier. There no in see that is rel gier. And wel juzen resegier. And wel juzen reseg. Kale studied her for a long moment. Then he said, show me. Together, they returned to the shuttle. Rhea explained the irregularities she had noticed. A fuel gauge that reset randomly. A pressure sensor that fluctuated without cause. And minor circuitry glitches that seemed deliberate. Kale listened carefully, nodding occasionally. Interesting, he said finally. These errors are not random. Someone has interfered with the systems intentionally. Rhea's eyes widened. Wait, really? Kale's gaze was serious now. Yes. And it is fortunate you noticed. Humans often underestimate the importance of small details. Rhea felt a mix of pride and anxiety. On one hand, she had caught something that could be dangerous. On the other, the presence of deliberate sabotage meant trouble. And trouble in the hub was never small. Do you want help investigating? Kale asked, surprising her. Me? Really? She asked. I'm just an engineer, not a security officer. Kale tilted his head. Precisely. Which is why your perspective is valuable. Humans notice patterns that my species does not always perceive. You are uniquely capable. Rhea's heart raced. This was the moment when her casual joke had spiraled into something far bigger than she ever imagined. She nodded slowly. Okay. Let's check it out. The patrol officer led her deeper into the docking ring, past alien crews and humming machinery, toward the system's hub. Along the way, Rhea noticed subtle details she would have missed alone. A panel slightly ajar. A cable that wasn't properly secured. A faint odor of electrical insulation burning. Each clue confirmed her suspicion. Someone was tampering with the hub. Kale observed silently, occasionally asking questions, but mostly letting Rhea guide him through the maze of systems. He was meticulous, precise, and incredibly patient, qualities that made Rhea respect him even more. By the time they reached the main system's terminal, Rhea had already outlined several possible sources of the interference. Kale nodded approvingly. Your analysis is thorough. I underestimated your capabilities. Rhea laughed softly. I told you humans are unpredictable. Kale's expression softened almost imperceptibly. Indeed, you are refreshing. As they began examining the systems together, Rhea couldn't help but think about the strange sequence of events. From a simple joke about dating to discovering a potential sabotage plot, the day had taken a turn she never expected. Yet, despite the danger, she felt a thrill. Something about working with Kale, an alien officer of immense authority, felt exhilarating, and somewhere deep down, she realized that this was only the beginning. The systems hub was quieter than most areas of the interstellar hub, though the hum of energy conduits and the blinking lights of control panels filled the space. Rhea moved confidently among the terminals, her fingers flying over the touchpads, tracing circuits and scanning for anomalies. Kale Renor followed closely, his presence towering and calm, his violet skin glowing softly in the overhead lights. Most humans would panic in my presence, Kale said, his voice low and deliberate. Rhea laughed, glancing over her shoulder. You've already said that. I'm starting to feel proud of myself. You should, Kale replied. Your observations may prevent a serious malfunction or worse. Rhea's smile faded slightly. The thought that someone might deliberately tamper with the hub was unsettling. But the curiosity that had drawn her to engineering in the first place made her press forward. Okay, she said, focusing on a console labeled Fuel Distribution Node 7. See these readings? They fluctuate more than they should. And look here, these circuits have minor micro-disconnects. Someone messed with them. I'm sure of it. Kale examined the panels carefully. His fingers moved with precise control, testing connections, reading the diagnostics. Interesting, he said. The pattern is inconsistent, but deliberate. Whoever did this understands the hub's systems, but not human repair methods. Rhea nodded. Exactly. They know the systems well enough to cause trouble, but they don't anticipate humans noticing. That's where I come in. Active. Kale tilted his head, his expression unreadable, though she thought she saw the faintest hint of admiration. You are thorough and unflinching, an unusual combination for a human. Unusual? Rhea asked, raising an eyebrow. I'll take that as a compliment. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he scanned the rest of the hub, taking note of minor anomalies, loose screws, panels slightly ajar, conduits that seemed recently repaired. You humans have a different perspective. It is valuable. Rhea smiled, feeling a sense of pride she hadn't expected. Thanks. So, what's next? Kale's gaze shifted to the nearby terminal. We track the source of the interference. It may be localized, or it may spread to other systems. Rhea nodded, her mind racing. If the interference spread, it could affect shuttle traffic, communications, or even security. Let's start with the nearest nodes and trace backward. That way we can see the pattern of tampering. They moved methodically, Rhea pointing out subtle irregularities, while Kale checked each system with precision. At first, the work was technical and quiet, but gradually, conversation began to fill the air. So, about that joke earlier, Rhea said, glancing at Kale. The one about dating. Kale's head tilted slightly. You, humans, often use humor to deflect tension. Yes, I guess that's true, Rhea said. But it worked, didn't it? You seemed less tense. Kale's eyes narrowed, as if considering this carefully. Perhaps. Your behavior is unpredictable. Unpredictable? Rhea laughed lightly. That's my specialty. Engineers thrive on chaos. Kale didn't smile, but there was a subtle relaxation in his posture. Chaos, when controlled, can be effective. Rhea grinned. I'm glad you approve. As they traced the systems, Rhea noticed a pattern emerging. The interference seemed to target shuttles carrying sensitive cargo, especially Terran diplomatic supplies. Kale, I think someone is trying to sabotage the summit coming up. The Terran diplomats will be here in 2 days. Right? Kale's expression hardened. It appears so. This is more serious than we initially thought. Rhea's stomach tightened. You mean, someone wants to make the summit fail? Yes, Kale said, his voice grim. And they are smart enough to hide their tracks. Rhea felt a spark of determination. Then we stop them. Right here, right now. Kale studied her, his violet eyes gleaming in the light. You are fearless, Rhea Voss. Humans are remarkable. Rhea laughed softly. You say that like it's a surprise. Kale didn't answer immediately. He began scanning the hub's internal logs and security feeds. We must be cautious. The saboteurs are likely watching. They will act to protect their plan. Rhea nodded, pulling her toolkit closer. I can handle the repairs while you monitor security. We'll cover both sides. Hours passed as they worked together. The rhythm of teamwork developed naturally. Ria moved through panels and circuits, identifying irregularities and making corrections, while Kale monitored terminals, calculated potential risks, and occasionally offered advice. Despite the tension, there was an unspoken camaraderie between them. At one point, Ria paused, wiping sweat from her brow. You know, for someone who's supposed to be all serious and intimidating, you're not that bad. Kale's head tilted. Not that bad? Yeah, Ria said, laughing. You're learning about humans, and I like working with you. Kale studied her for a moment. You are unusual. I expected fear, not amusement. Ria grinned. I guess humans aren't as predictable as aliens expect. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A low alarm beeped from one of the shuttle docking bays. Kale's hand moved instantly to the sidearm at his belt. Someone is trying to interfere now. Ria's heart raced. We need to check it out. They rushed to the docking bay, where the hum of energy fields had been disrupted. A shuttle's engines flickered, sparks dancing along the conduits. Rhea dove forward, using her toolkit to stabilize the systems. Kale moved to guard her, scanning for threats. As she worked, Ria realized that this sabotage wasn't random. Whoever did this had knowledge of both human engineering and alien security protocols. It was precise, calculated, and dangerous. Kale's voice cut through the noise. Human, step back from the panel. Let me stabilize it with you. Together, they worked quickly, hands moving in sync. Sparks flew, alarms rang, but they didn't stop. Within minutes, the system hummed steadily. The shuttle's engines stabilizing. Ria breathed heavily. That was close. Kale nodded, his gaze on the shuttle. Indeed. You were effective under pressure. Ria smiled faintly. Thanks. You too. Kale's expression softened slightly. It seems we make a capable team. Ria felt a thrill. It wasn't just about the work. It was about connection, trust, and shared purpose. And strangely, the small joke she had made earlier, the dating joke, felt like the start of something bigger. After the incident, Kale suggested a break. They sat on a bench overlooking the docking ring, silent for a few moments as the shuttle traffic continued. You know, Ria said, I never expected a day like this. One moment, I'm late for a routine inspection. The next, I'm joking with a patrol officer and stopping sabotage. Kale's gaze softened, almost imperceptibly. Humans thrive in chaos. It is remarkable. You are remarkable. Ria laughed lightly. You keep saying that. I like it. For a moment, silence fell again. Then Kyle spoke. In his deep, measured voice. Perhaps this joke of yours earlier was beneficial. It opened a channel of understanding between us. Humans use humor, and I can learn from it. Quote, Ria felt her cheeks warm slightly. Well, I'm glad. I think you're not too bad yourself. Kale's eyes seemed to glimmer with a faint curiosity. We will continue to work together. You will help me understand more about humans and their methods. And you'll help me understand the hub and its systems, Ria said. Deal. Kale nodded, a rare smile almost forming on his serious face. Deal. As they prepared to return to the main hub, Ria realized that the day had changed everything. She had begun with a joke, a simple deflection, and it had led her into something important. Something that mattered not only to her but to the safety of everyone at the hub. And she knew, without a doubt, that the adventure had only just begun. The corridors of the interstellar hub were quieter than usual, but the faint hum of machinery never stopped. Ria and Kale moved carefully, alert to every sound, every flicker of light. Something was wrong. The interference they had detected earlier wasn't random. Someone had a plan. And that plan was dangerous. Rhea carried her toolkit close to her chest, moving with practiced ease. Kale's long strides matched hers effortlessly. Every so often, his eyes flicked to the shadows, scanning for movement that a human might miss. Together, they made an unusual but effective team. "This way," Rhea whispered, pointing to a maintenance corridor that led deeper into the hub's docking area. "Most of the anomalies trace back to here. Something is being tampered with." Kale nodded, his face serious. "Proceed with caution. If the saboteur is here, they will be aware of us soon." Rhea's heart raced. Her hands weren't shaking, though years of working with machines in high-pressure situations had trained her well. "I'm ready. Let's see who's been causing all this trouble." They rounded a corner and found a service terminal glowing red. Sparks shot out from a nearby power conduit, a clear sign that someone had been meddling. Rhea knelt down immediately, opening the panel. "This is clever," she muttered. "They've rigged the circuits so that any sudden power surge could cause a shuttle engine to fail. If a shuttle was carrying diplomats, it could be catastrophic." Kale crouched beside her, scanning the area. "We must neutralize this quickly. I will cover you while you repair it." Rhea's fingers worked quickly, rerouting circuits, reconnecting damaged lines, and stabilizing the power flow. Sparks flew, and the smell of burning insulation filled the corridor. But she remained focused. Kale's presence was comforting, his vigilance making her feel safe despite the danger. Minutes passed, and the immediate threat was neutralized. Rhea exhaled. "That should hold. For now." Kale stood and looked down the corridor. "We need to find the source. Whoever did this is likely hiding nearby." They moved cautiously, following the subtle trail of sabotage. Loose panels, tampered locks, faint tool marks. The further they went, the more obvious it became that this was not the work of a single, inexperienced individual. The saboteur was methodical, precise, and confident in navigating the hub. "Look at this," Rhea said, pointing to a series of vents. "These aren't just for air. Someone has been using them to move between sections without being detected." Kale examined the vents. "Clever. They are using the infrastructure to avoid security patrols. Whoever this is, they are experienced and well prepared." Rhea frowned. "Experienced, yes, but maybe overconfident. Most saboteurs underestimate human observation. That's where I come in." Kale's gaze softened slightly, as if approving her confidence. "Indeed, humans often notice things others miss." As they continued, a faint sound reached them, a metallic scrape, almost like a panel being forced open. Kale's hand went to his sidearm. "Stay behind me," he instructed. Rhea nodded, her heart racing. They followed the sound to a larger maintenance room. Shadows moved inside, and they glimpsed a figure tampering with a power conduit. "Freeze," Kale commanded. His voice was sharp and controlled. The saboteur turned abruptly, revealing an alien in a dark suit. His eyes narrowed when he saw Kale. Rhea's hands clenched her toolkit, ready to act if needed. "Do you think we can stop them without fighting?" she whispered. Kale's eyes flicked to her. "Possibly, but be prepared. They may resist." The saboteur lunged at the control panel, trying to disconnect it entirely. Kale moved swiftly, blocking him. Rhea stepped forward. Using a small tool to lock the panel's circuits, sparks flew, and the room filled with tension. "Step back," the saboteur shouted, waving a small device threateningly. Rhea didn't move. She adjusted the device's wiring, stabilizing the panel despite the danger. Kale grabbed the saboteur's arm with his strong grip, twisting it until the device fell to the floor. The alien froze, realizing he was overpowered. "You're caught," Kale said, holding him firmly. "No more interference." Rhea exhaled, adrenaline pumping. Kale's eyes, normally so calm, showed a hint of respect. "You handled yourself well." Very well. Indeed. Rhea smiled faintly. Thanks. I think we make a good team. Kale studied her carefully. Yes. Humans and aliens. Together. Perhaps this is the future of collaboration. They secured the saboteur and reported the incident to Hub Security. As officers arrived to take the alien away, Kale turned to Rhea. You have a sharp mind and quick reflexes. These qualities saved lives today. Rhea felt a warm glow of pride. I guess that joke I made earlier wasn't the only thing I contributed. Oh, Kale inclined his head slightly, almost like a nod of approval. Indeed. Your humor is beneficial, and your skill is remarkable. As the officers led the saboteur away, Rhea glanced around the corridor. The interference had been stopped, but she knew this was just the beginning. Whoever had planned this was part of a larger operation. Kale's voice broke her thoughts. You will continue to assist me. There are likely more threats, and your perspective is invaluable. Rhea nodded. Of course. We can't let anyone sabotage the summit. Too much is at stake. They walked back toward the main hub, their steps in sync. Despite the danger, there was a sense of accomplishment. Rhea realized that this experience had changed her. She wasn't just an engineer anymore, she was part of something bigger, something important. Kale's eyes lingered on her, and she felt a small thrill of excitement. You are human, and you are extraordinary. Rhea laughed softly. Thanks. That's a lot coming from a patrol officer from the stars. He inclined his head, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Perhaps you will teach me more about your species. I am curious. Rhea grinned. Oh, I'm sure I can do that. But you'll have to keep up with me. For the first time, Kale's usual seriousness seemed lighter, less rigid. Rhea noticed it and felt a strange warmth. Humor, teamwork, and trust were forming between them, something neither had expected. As they returned to the system's hub, Rhea caught sight of the shuttle she had inspected earlier. Everything was stable now, thanks to her and Kale. But she knew that danger still lingered. The saboteur was only one part of a larger plan, and the summit was approaching fast. We'll need to remain vigilant, Kale said, his tone serious again. This was only the first attempt. There may be others. Rhea nodded, determination settling in her chest. Then we'll stop them. Together. Kale's eyes softened, just a little. Together, yes. The day ended with the hub returning to its usual hum of activity. But for Rhea and Kale, the events had shifted something fundamental. They had faced danger, worked as a team, and discovered a spark of connection that neither fully understood yet. As they parted for the night, Rhea glanced back at Kale. See you tomorrow, Sergeant? Kale's response was simple, yet meaningful. Tomorrow, human. And perhaps we will learn more about each other. Rhea smiled, a mix of excitement and curiosity filling her mind. The adventure was far from over, and she couldn't wait to see what would happen next. The interstellar hub was alive with motion as the next day began. Shuttles docked, crews scurried along corridors, and security officers moved in precise formations. Rhea Voss felt the familiar mix of excitement and tension in her chest as she walked beside Kale Renor. After yesterday's sabotage attempt, the stakes were higher than ever. We cannot underestimate the saboteurs, Kale said quietly as they navigated a busy corridor. They will attempt another strike, possibly more dangerous than the first. Rhea nodded. I know, but we caught one of them yesterday. That gives us an advantage. We know they're watching us, but they may think we are still inexperienced. Kale glanced at her, his violet eyes glowing softly. Human confidence is remarkable. It is inspiring. Rhea grinned. Thanks, I try my best. They reached the main docking control room, where Hub Security had set up additional monitoring. Rhea immediately noticed anomalies in the system's diagnostic readouts. The interference was back, this time subtler, more difficult to detect. Someone is trying again, Rhea said, pointing to a flickering readout. They are clever, But I can trace their pattern. Kale nodded. Do so. I will monitor the perimeter. We cannot afford mistakes. Rhea crouched beside the console, running her fingers over the touch-sensitive interface. Her mind raced, analyzing patterns, anticipating the saboteur's next move. This was the part of her she loved most, solving problems under pressure. Minutes passed, then a faint hum began to grow louder in one of the docking bays. Sparks flickered along a shuttle's engine conduit, and a thin wisp of smoke rose. The saboteurs were making their move, attempting to sabotage a shuttle, carrying diplomats for the summit. Kale, they're attacking the shuttle, Rhea shouted. Kale drew his sidearm and sprinted down the corridor. Stay here, and stabilize the system if possible. I will intercept them. Rhea's fingers flew over the panel, rerouting circuits, isolating affected lines, and ensuring the shuttle wouldn't suffer a catastrophic failure. She felt the heat from the sparks on her face, but ignored it. Every second counted. Meanwhile, Kale reached the docking bay and found two saboteurs attempting to tamper with the shuttle. Their suits were dark, their faces masked, but their intent was clear. Kale moved with precision, blocking their path. You are caught, he commanded, his voice carrying authority and control. One saboteur lunged at him with a small stun device, but Kale was ready. He deflected the attack and knocked the device away with a controlled strike. The other saboteur tried to disable the shuttle's engines further, but Kale intercepted him just in time. Back at the console, Rhea realized she needed to act faster. I have to reroute the main power manually, she muttered, rolling up her sleeves. There's no time for automated systems. Her hands moved with practiced skill, adjusting circuits, reconnecting wires, and stabilizing the shuttle's engine. Sparks flew around her, and the smell of ozone filled the air. But she stayed focused. Every movement mattered. Kale, seeing her struggle, shouted, "Human, I will cover you. Keep going." Rhea smiled briefly, even in the chaos. I've got this. Just make sure they don't interfere. Together, they worked in perfect sync. Kale blocked attacks, restrained the saboteurs, and prevented them from approaching the console, while Rhea stabilized the shuttle with quick, precise adjustments. Minutes felt like hours, but finally, the engines hummed steadily. The sparks died down, and the shuttle system stabilized. The saboteurs, realizing they were overpowered, tried to flee, but Kale intercepted them and restrained them effectively. Rhea exhaled, her body trembling slightly from the adrenaline. That was close. Kale studied her carefully. You humans are remarkable. You act with courage, skill, and ingenuity. You never give up, even when the odds are against you. Rhea smiled, a sense of pride swelling in her chest. That's what humans do. We don't back down. Kale's gaze softened slightly. Indeed, you embody the qualities of your species that make humans extraordinary. Quote. Rhea laughed lightly. You keep saying that, but I'll take it. They secured the saboteurs and reported the incident to hub security. The officers took the intruders away, and the docking bay returned to its usual activity. But Rhea knew the threat wasn't entirely gone. Whoever had sent these saboteurs might try again, or even have other agents in the hub. Kale glanced at her. Your quick thinking saved lives today. I am impressed, Rhea shrugged, trying to seem modest. The tension began to ease as they walked back to the control room. Rhea noticed how Kale's expression had softened since yesterday. There was respect in his gaze, and perhaps even a hint of admiration. You know, Rhea said as they walked, I didn't expect to enjoy working with a patrol officer. Usually, humans are nervous around your kind. Kale tilted his head. Nervousness is natural, but you are different. You face challenges with focus and courage. It is rare, Rhea grinned. I guess I like surprises. And apparently, I like teaching aliens how humans handle them too. Kale's lips curved slightly, almost a smile. You teach more than you know. I am learning from you. Back in the control room, Rhea checked the shuttle systems once more, ensuring everything was stable. Kale monitored the nearby corridors, eyes sharp and alert. Together, they made a strong team. You handled the manual reroute beautifully, Kale said. Most humans would hesitate, but you acted decisively. Rhea laughed softly. It's in my nature. Engineers solve problems, and humans, we find a way, no matter what. Kale nodded, considering her words. It is inspiring. Humans are resilient in ways my species does not always anticipate. The hours passed as they monitored systems and security feeds. No further sabotage occurred, but Rhea knew this was only the beginning. The summit was coming soon, and the threat to the hub had not vanished. As they finished their shift, Rhea stretched her arms and glanced at Kale. So, what now? Kale's gaze was steady. Now, we remain vigilant. We continue to work together. And we prepare for any attempt to disrupt the summit. Rhea smiled faintly. I can do that. And thanks for trusting me. Ah. Kale's expression softened. Trust is earned. You have proven yourself. You are remarkable. Rhea Voss. Rhea laughed, a mix of pride and amusement in her voice. You say that a lot, you know. But I like it. For a moment, the tension of the day faded. They had faced danger, acted as a team, and prevented disaster. And in that moment, a quiet understanding formed between them, a bond of respect, trust, and perhaps something more. As they prepared to leave the hub for the night, Rhea glanced at Kale. See you tomorrow, Sergeant. Kale's eyes met hers, and his voice was calm but warm. Tomorrow, human. And perhaps we will continue to learn from each other. Rhea smiled, feeling a spark of excitement. The day had been dangerous, exhausting, and thrilling. And she knew, deep down, that the adventure was far from over. Together, she and Kale were ready to face whatever the saboteurs or the universe threw at them next. And somewhere in the back of her mind, Rhea couldn't help but think that this unusual partnership, born from a joke, might just be the beginning of something extraordinary. The interstellar hub was brighter than usual that morning. The Terran diplomatic summit was scheduled to begin, and the corridors buzzed with activity. Delegates from various star systems moved quickly, escorted by security officers. Supplies and documents were being loaded onto shuttles. For most, it was a routine day, but for Rhea Voss, it was a moment of both excitement and tension. She walked alongside Kale Renor, who was unusually silent, his violet skin glowing faintly under the overhead lights. The events of the past few days had drawn them closer. They had stopped sabotage, captured saboteurs, and stabilized critical systems. But today, the summit was the ultimate test. Kale spoke first, his voice calm but carrying authority. All systems have been checked. No anomalies detected so far. We must remain vigilant. Rhea nodded, adjusting her toolkit. I've double-checked everything. If someone tries to interfere now, we'll see it immediately. And if not, well, we're ready anyway. They reached the main docking bay, where the first shuttle carrying Terran delegates was scheduled to depart. Rhea's fingers traced the panels once more, ensuring that the engines and power conduits were stable. Kale scanned the surroundings, eyes sharp for any sign of threat. Suddenly, an alert flashed on a nearby security monitor. Rhea and Kale exchanged a glance. Someone is here, Kale said quietly. Rhea's heart raced. This had to be the final attempt by the saboteurs. She tightened her grip on her toolkit. Then let's stop them. From the shadows, two figures emerged, moving quickly toward a control terminal near the shuttle. They wore dark suits, their faces masked, but their intent was clear. Kyle drew his sidearm and stepped forward. Halt! You are not permitted here. The saboteurs hesitated for a split second, but then lunged at the terminal. Sparks flew as they tried to disable the shuttle's engines. Rhea didn't wait. She ran toward the terminal, opening panels and reconnecting wires faster than ever. Kale! They're trying to override the engines, she shouted. Kale intercepted the saboteurs, using precise movements to block their attacks and restrain them. One struggled free, attempting to jam the shuttle controls, but Kale's strength and skill prevented him. You'll not succeed, Kale shouted. Ria's fingers flew over the controls. She rerouted the main power lines manually, isolated the sabotaged circuits, and stabilized the engine. Sparks flew, and the smell of burning insulation filled the air, but she remained focused. Every second counted. Kale glanced at her. Human, the main power line. Ria's hands moved even faster, reconnecting the vital conduit. The shuttle's engine roared steadily to life. The sabotage attempt was neutralized. The saboteurs, realizing they were overpowered, tried to flee. But Kale captured them efficiently. He secured them and contacted hub security to take them away. Ria exhaled, her body trembling from the adrenaline. That was intense. But we did it. Kale studied her, his violet eyes reflecting calm respect. Indeed. You humans are extraordinary. Your courage, ingenuity, and determination are remarkable. Ria smiled faintly, a mix of pride and exhaustion in her chest. I guess that's the humanity part of it. Kale's expression softened. It is more than that. You represent the qualities that make your species resilient. Even in the face of danger, you do not falter. You think, adapt, and act. That is inspiring. Ria laughed softly. You really like saying that, don't you? Kale inclined his head slightly. I do not often give compliments, but you have earned them. As the shuttle prepared to depart safely, Ria stepped back, brushing her hair from her face. Kale remained beside her, scanning the area one last time. The threat was gone, the summit was secure, and the hub was safe for now. A quiet settled between them, one that was different from before. There was no danger, no alarms, only the hum of the hub's energy systems and the distant chatter of delegates. Kale turned to her, his expression unusually soft. Ria Voss. There is something I must ask. Ria looked at him curiously. What is it? Kale's voice was steady, though there was a rare hint of hesitation. Earlier, you made a joke about dating. I did not understand humor fully at the time. But now, I realize I understand it, and perhaps the intent behind it as well. I wish to ask properly. Ria tilted her head, smiling faintly. Go on. I request your number. Kale said. Not for records, not for security, but for an actual meeting. A personal one. In accordance with human custom, Ria felt a thrill of excitement. For days, she had wondered if their connection, born from a joke and strengthened through danger, would ever become something more. Now, here it was, confirmed. She laughed softly, a mix of amusement and happiness. Well, I guess this means we're actually dating now, right? Kale's violet eyes seemed to glimmer, almost human in their warmth. If you accept it. Yes, Ria grinned. I accept. For a moment, they simply stood there. Two unlikely allies from different worlds, smiling at each other. The events of the past days, the sabotage, the danger, the teamwork had brought them together in a way neither had expected. And now, it seemed, something more was beginning. The shuttle engines roared as the Terran delegates prepared for departure. Ria glanced at Kale. So, now that the summit is safe, what's next? Kale's gaze met hers, steady and calm. Now, we continue to learn from each other. You have taught me much about humans, about courage and ingenuity. Perhaps I can teach you something about my people as well. Ria laughed softly. I think I'd like that. You may be intimidating at first, but you're not so bad once you let me in. Kale's expression softened further. And you are extraordinary, Ria Voss. I am fortunate to have met you. Rhea felt a warmth spread through her chest. I'm the lucky one, Kale. Who knew a simple joke would lead to all this? He inclined his head, almost smiling. Indeed. It began with humor, but it led to partnership, trust, and perhaps something more. The universe works in mysterious ways. The shuttle lifted off smoothly, leaving the docking bay. Rhea and Kale watched it disappear into the stars, the summit secure, and the danger ended for now. Kale turned to her, his posture relaxed for the first time in days. You will continue to work with me, yes? Rhea nodded, a grin spreading across her face. Absolutely. Who else would I have watching my back while saving shuttles and stopping saboteurs? Kale's violet eyes seemed to glow softly in approval. Very well. Together. Then. Humans and aliens. United against danger. Rhea laughed lightly. I like the sound of that. I think the universe isn't ready for us, though. Kale inclined his head. Perhaps not. But that will not stop us. They walked through the quiet corridors of the hub, a sense of accomplishment and camaraderie between them. Danger had tested their skills and trust, but it had also forged a bond stronger than either could have expected. Rhea glanced at Kale one last time before leaving the control room. See you tomorrow, Sergeant. Kale's voice was calm but warm. Tomorrow. Human. And perhaps we will continue to explore this connection. Rhea smiled, her heart light. The adventure had begun with a joke, escalated with danger, and now had reached a new beginning. Humanity had shown its resilience, ingenuity, and courage once more, and for Rhea, the universe suddenly seemed full of possibilities. As she left the hub for the night, she couldn't help but feel that this was more than a story of sabotage and heroism. It was the start of something extraordinary. A partnership that would continue to grow among the stars. And somewhere deep inside, Rhea knew this was only the beginning of many adventures to come.